That's definitely not an impressive, piece of structure because a bunch of my Mexican friends back home are building things that look just like this.
I think out of all of us, I met Jesse first. We were both up for parole about the same time. Jesse, I know him. Santa.
And that's why we have this podcast.
Well. Yeah. I would give $100 to do that.
Camera Cartel, episode 3.
Trace.
Guys, how y'all doing?
Doing good. Marcus?
Great.
Marcus just got back from Florida, from Disney, Universal.
Yes. Disney and Universal. Yeah.
How was that trip?
It was nice. It was Ruth's first time at Disney, so it was a good experience. It was hot. There was a big heat dome over Florida while we were down there. While you guys were getting all the nasty weather, we were getting all the hot weather.
It's been chilly here.
But that's Florida in a nutshell. So.
Did you get any good pictures while you were there?
I did. I actually got. It's my current favorite photo right now, which is funny, but that's not the one for today's topic. But side note, I've been wearing my drone out and the camera on that sucker with the 24 megapixel main camera and then the 48 megapixel secondary zoom, and I've just getting shots that I've never been able to get before. It's amazing.
That's awesome.
So yeah, definitely took a ton of photos
while
we were down there.
Well, hopefully you'll post some of those.
Yes.
Drone photos, because
really bad about posting my own stuff.
Yeah, because that drone of yours takes phenomenal video. I love it. Like when we were in Miami, the night shot of you flying it through the the downtown area, that was just incredible. And then your hyperlapse of Chicago at night.
Yeah, that was pretty sick. That blew my mind when I had to it was windy that day, and I left the drone up there flying around it took about 35 minutes, and I was pushing it, and I was like. Okay, it's a little chilly.
Am I going to get this one back? I don't know.
I leave the remote.
Shaylee's going to divorce me.
Yes. I leave the remote outside. I go inside to stand where it's warm, and I'm just sitting there watching come on.
I would never do that.
But I'm
dangerous with them, but yeah.
You both are dangerous. These two are the resident Top Gun drone pilots here.
Actually, you just hit on something for marketing. But I got the shot. If we can get that on a T-shirt, but I got the shot, then it's true.
I live by, but I got the shot.
That's going to be a Camera Cartel T-shirt, but I got the shot.
We'll be opening up the shop. But I got
or $3,000 down the drain, but I got the shot.
Insurance premiums are going up.
Yeah. We'll open up our e-shop here soon.
There we go.
It'll happen about the same time we're actually on a podcast platform, which, Marcus, I'm going to have to defer to you.
If go fund my camera, you can support.
One thing I'd like to mention, we got to thank Kirk, Lord of the Marochers, for this awesome Camera Cartel mug here. Oh, look at that. We've got the Red Bull going in. Is that Red Bull or is that Celsius or Alani?
100% Red Bull.
100% Red Bull.
Coconut.
He only drinks the Red Bull. Nice. Awesome.
Coconut.
So thank you, Kirk, for that.
Yes, sir.
That wasn't washed, by the way, so.
It's okay.
Yeah. This is the way he lives his life.
We'll fix it.
Dirty and on the edge.
Mine's full of bourbon.
It's like those guys that test the vapes. They test all the vapes before they send them off to America. Everybody just tests the mugs out before they,
Testing vapes.
Wait, what?
Never mind. I came across a video of this, how vapes were made and then shipped to America, and there was this guy going down and sucking every single one of the vapes.
This Chinese factory worker has probably had your vape in his mouth.
Yeah, so, anyways.
Is this a camera podcast or? Yeah. No, I'm just joking.
It's just a view inside of our heads.
That's Josh is like, let's get back on track. Squirrel, ADHD.
Jinx, you owe me a soda. We said that at the same time.
Oh, my goodness. She gets me all the time with that.
And so, a little housekeeping, though, real quick. Again, so I mentioned last episode, we were going to be on a podcast platform. That fell through, and by fell through, we didn't even think about it past the pod. Anyway. I
was gone for 2 weeks. I didn't have time to set it up.
Yes, it's true.
Because it's all going to fall on it. Look, if it's technical stuff, this is the wrong guy to go to, all right? I'm the oldest one here, clearly, so technology frightens me. Anyway, also, guys, I'm happy to announce we are now up to 27 subscribers.
Oh, boy.
Now, with my ghost account, that really means 26 subscribers, but nonetheless, we've doubled since last time. So
27.
This is not a bad trend.
Yeah, so
thank you, everyone.
Thank each and every one of you. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit the like button because I know you're going to love this episode. And subscribe so that you can always know when further episodes are up and running and y'all can watch and listen to those. All right, Kirk, what is our topic for today?
So we talked about what is our favorite photo that we've ever taken. It's a big question because that's hard to choose. So we can do this topic a couple more times. So you'll see more of this and hear more of this as we evolve. But it could be for any genre. Like, for instance, the one I'm going to talk about is some street photography. But next time we talk about this, it could be my favorite portrait or my favorite landscape, whatever it may be. So in this particular one, I guess I'll go ahead and start alpha. So the one I'm going to have, and we'll throw it up there on the screen for everybody, it's a picture that I took. I can't remember the location, but I want to say it was somewhere in Europe. There's a big tower made by a guy. Anyway, obviously, so this is in Paris, France, right? Eiffel Tower. And listen, Paris is a lot like New York. It's really difficult to take a bad street photography photo there. There's just so much to see and everything. And especially with the Eiffel Tower. So Jesse and I were there, 2 years ago, and we were only in Paris for 9-10 hours, something like that.
Oh, barely even that.
Barely even that.
Maybe like 5.
Yeah. It was a short amount of time, but boy, we were running and gunning the whole time and got some great shots out of there. And the crazy thing about the Eiffel Tower, which, as Jesse likes to say, is like, it's not done yet. Like, where's the drywall? It's just all scaffolding. But it's nothing but a big tower of leading lines. That there's no way to take a bad picture of that. So some of this was luck, some of it was planning. So we're walking around.
That's so sorry, man. That's so funny that you remember me saying that. That's so funny you remember me saying that because I was like that's definitely not an impressive piece of structure because a bunch of my Mexican friends back home are building things that look just like this. But sorry, anyway, sorry.
We're gonna put a facade on this, just some stone wall, whatever, and
sorry.
It just looks like a big antenna, which it actually was an antenna during the war. Anyway, but this was sort of intentional. As we're walking around, I just kind of noticed these people sitting in this sort of grassy area. And from a composition standpoint, it's all there. There's a sidewalk on the right edge there that's sort of your leading line. You have a sense of infinity with the museum in the background, where John Wick had a duel, by the way.
Oh, yes.
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 And then, of course, the people. But what I love most about this photograph, number one, you have really one of, if not the most iconic structure on the planet next to the pyramids, right? Everyone knows what this thing is. You'd have to be really difficult to find someone who doesn't know what that is. It's taking up 2/3 of the photo, and it's not the subject of the photo. The subject of the photo is really the people around it and what they're doing. And if you really take a look at this, there's a different story for, there's 10, 20 groups of people, and there's something else going on there. So it makes you think about the folks, what they're doing, where they're going, what's their story. And if I can have the viewer ask those questions, then I've just hit every goal that you want to with street photography. And that's what it's kind of all about. It's not about a structure. It's not about a landscape. It's about the people involved in it. So that's why it's my favorite. And then there's a couple other things I did black and white just to kind of focus it in. And even the crop ratio itself is a 3x4 crop ratio that I did just because it's sort of an old school feel to it, like a full frame. And that's something that only us photography geeks would get. But to me, it meant something, and maybe subconsciously, I like it to be a little bit timeless, other than looking at the clothes or an occasional cell phone or automobile. When was this taken? And if you don't know that without really looking, then again, I've done my job. So
I feel like I jumped back into the 70s almost. It's the first thing that popped into my head when I saw this photo. I was like, man, I am going back in time looking at this, and everybody just standing there in awe of this massive structure.
I told myself I wasn't going to cry.
Plus, you know how much I love your black and whites anyways.
Yeah,
I'm working on a wall. Like I want to print all yours out, like and put them on
awesome.
a little collage wall, but it's amazing. I love
It's something I should probably do then. No, I really appreciate that. That means a lot. Honestly, it does mean a lot to get that validation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's definitely pretty awesome, Kirk. Like I wouldn't necessarily consider myself a street photographer, but listening to what that means to you and how you want, or what you want the viewer to see. And if they could see that, then you've done your job.
Right.
And I don't know, I just really like listening to those bullet points in your head, because I don't necessarily consider, once again, I don't necessarily consider myself a street photographer, but I love hearing that and, listening to kind of what is it that you're thinking of, because like you said, this picture, you don't see the entire structure. It's part of it. It takes up 2/3 of it, but it's more so the people around there. And I don't know. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah. I like that.
Those first two groups just laying there, that's really draws me in. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
they're just chilling, and You know what I mean? Just enjoying that. You just froze that in time. It's just, and I love the black and white, like you said, timeless. Like that's what I would name this photo. You know what I mean? Just because it's, you know, it's an iconic shot. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
for
I
sure.
want you to sign that page when you print the book out.
Again, it's going to cost you.
He's still gonna. I knew it. I knew you were gonna say that. I was about to say it. I knew you were gonna say that. He's still gonna charge you, bro.
Once I see those Josh residuals from the reel, then yeah, it's going.
That is. So,
I tell you what, I'll give you one for free if you get this up on a podcast platform, and I don't have to do it. So
There you go.
awesome, thanks guys.
Bit.
yeah, absolutely.
good.
Murph, talk to us.
Okay, so mine is recent. I take a ton of photos, and when we were talking about this topic, I'm like, I have no idea, because I love my drone stuff. Because I'm like with Marcus, like it's just you get a perspective you don't. But my kiddo on the train in New York on the subway, we told him before he went, I'm like, dude, we're gonna be doing a lot of walking. Can you handle this trip? And he assured me that he could, and he sat down a whole lot during this trip. Like the walking was intense for him. And if you know Josiah, like he has a ton of energy, and I figured New York would be a perfect place for him. But New York even got to him. So he's like, Dad, I'm gonna go sit over here. And he's just chilling
Take a
on the
nap.
subway, because we learned the subway and it was the cheapest way, no Ubers. This is the way to go, the subway. And he just crashed out, and he's got his New York hat on, and we bought him this Kansas City Chiefs jersey while we were there. And yeah, he was living it up, and he finally crashed, and I took that photo while I was sitting across from him. So.
Nobody beats New York.
Yeah.
New York will beat him.
Yeah.
Will beat everybody, even Godzilla.
Yeah.
Circa 1997,
Something.
Was it?
97, with Puff Daddy singing at the very end.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody likes Puff Daddy right now. That's okay. We're not going to
I was
talk
gonna say, I'm
about
not sure that reference is going to hold up, but there you go.
it. No beat.
Yeah.
That's not going to age well.
No
But anyway.
Diddy.
Sorry.
Booted from the algorithm.
Oh, God.
But yeah, so like that's my recent favorite photo, and I love that of him.
I like it, man.
because
I like it.
it's
Yeah, because I
just-
remember when you posted that, I was like, that is a dope shot.
Yeah.
And how you're shooting that through the
Yeah.
Handrail there.
handrail thing, yeah.
Perfectly framed up
Yeah,
within
yeah.
that handrail. And not just a square frame, but it actually matches like the way his body is laying, that angle, that 45-degree angle there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like it was made for that shot.
Yeah.
And the fact that your eye caught that, maybe it did, maybe it didn't. Maybe it's one of those happy accidents. I just know you well enough to know I think he saw that.
Yeah.
That is an absolute stroke of genius.
Yeah.
I love this photo. So
But
much.
like his me, like street photography, like I was taking pictures of random people too. You know what I mean? But like it was cool to get a shot of my son instead of a random person. Yeah, I mean a little bit more.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, if
awesome.
I didn't know it was your son, I would still, find, because there's, again,
Yeah.
it answers, what's this kid's story? Is he just tuckered out? Did he have a long day? Whatever. It asks you that story, so it answers the same question, though. So it's a perfect street
Why does he
photography
have a
moment.
New York hat and a Kansas City jersey on? You know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense.
Dude
But-
is tired.
yeah.
Marcus, let's go
Yes.
on to yours. What's your favorite?
Let's check it out. I've got now, obviously, this isn't obviously like one of my best landscapes, but there's a specific, I guess, emotion that comes with this photo that I need to explain. This was the first lightning photo that I ever took on my first camera that I ever had, a Canon Rebel T3i with the little pop-up flash, little.
You did this
Probably-
on a
This was
Canon?
on a
This was on a
T3i.
This was on a Canon T3i, and if anybody who doesn't know, I had one of those Gorilla tripods, which
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
the Gorilla Pod.
I think a lot of us
the
have-
Casey
have
Neistat
those.
vlogging pod.
Yeah.
Exactly,
Yeah.
which is why I got the thing in the first place. Funny story behind that too, but anyways, I opened it up. The camera was sitting 6 inches off the ground, not that high, which you could tell in the photo. I'm like, I'm getting ready to show you guys, but Jesse's already popped it up. So, but I sat there and I was like, okay, I had just watched a YouTube video on how to set like manual, mode and set up my exposure. I did like a couple seconds, I think, and I would just push the button and let it do its thing. Didn't even know if it was in focus or not. I didn't have any clue about that stuff. And
It
then,
was, by the way.
which
Very much was.
I didn't know if it was in focus, and we're like, that's a masterful photo.
but it's yeah. So I've strived to get something like this still because of the way the lighting just like looks like it's coming out of a portal and then just spidering out in a full circle.
Yeah.
And those couple of bolts in the back. I jumped up and down. I remember specifically down 231 before you go over the A bridge into Holiday World. It was off to the left on one of those side roads, right before you turn right to go to Hawesville. That's where I set up, and I was looking out over 231 to the northeast. And I remember jumping up and down on the street. Like, yes. And then it started raining, and I went and grabbed the camera, and I got back to the car, and I ran back to the house. Didn't really even know how to edit. I was editing on an iPad at the time too, so I just was messing with some sliders and stuff, and a little 20 megapixel JPEG. It wasn't even in RAW too. That's another thing. But
so basically you broke every rule, starting with you took it with the Canon.
Every rule.
Oh, Dylan, he took it with the Canon. Anyway,
I did. T3i, like that still blows my mind. That's why I tell people, I'm like, yeah, I mean, they make nice cameras and stuff too, but you don't.
They do
technically need something.
Yeah,
That
I'm
covers
kidding
all
on the
bases.
Canon thing.
We're all
For our
Sony
next
bros
sponsor,
here.
Canon.
Dylan has a Sony. Don't let him lie. I found out today.
It's a 6000.
Anyways, that's my favorite photo, and always will be.
That's
Awesome.
so cool. Because
Yeah,
that stuff in the foreground is like, I mean, you know what I mean? That's
It
blurred.
added to it.
It's not in focus. The lightning's in focus.
It
You know what I
wasn't
mean?
even
Like,
planned anyways. I was
you
like,
could have
well,
caught that in focus and not the lightning. Like, that's wild.
it
And
worked
an
out 'cause
ironic
I had a
phrase-
full angle of the sky. So.
And an ironic phrase, you just stole my thunder. Get it? But no, seriously, that's one of the first things I noticed as well. Is it from a composition standpoint? It's not just a cool picture of lightning. It's layered, and that foreground. If those foreground elements of those grasses, even though you really kind of have to zoom in to see that they're a little bit of movement in them, whatever. But that's fine. It just adds. Otherwise, it's a two-dimensional picture of some lightning that could have been like an oil painting or something. But this is, I want that on glass.
You know what's slightly left of center? They look like mini brachiosauruses. This looks like a Jurassic World
There were dinosaurs
photo.
out that day.
Little
Marcus,
Loch Ness monsters.
They
coming
came right out of the
or
Yeah.
Loch Ness monsters. Marcus took pictures of dinosaurs.
They came out of the portal.
It's a beautiful, and the coloring on it and everything. It's a
Oh, yeah.
beautiful, beautiful picture.
Yeah,
Have you
appreciate
edited
that.
it since then? Like, have you gone
I
back and
haven't, dude. And
I don't know if
it's
you'd want to.
sad.
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't. Like, there's a lot of times where I gone back. The laptop I had when I took a lot of my first photos, I lost that hard drive because it was destroyed. This was before I was a technical guy at all and knew how to recover stuff and this, that, and the other. So I lost a lot of those shots that I got on my.
Do you still have
Canon.
that or no? Do you still have this photo? Like,
Yeah, I have it.
Or just on-
obviously the digital version.
Okay.
But I don't even think I think it's the full file. But anyways,
That's
it's not
interesting.
like I can't go print it on like
Right.
large format or anything.
Right.
By the way, do you guys know how in fighter pilots will have the flags of other planes that they've shot down?
Yes.
So Marcus has little flags of all the drones and laptops and everything else that he's busted throughout his
I'm
little
the tech guy,
career.
but I break all my.
you should get neck tattoos.
that is actually pretty funny. I like
There's an
that.
app for that.
I
Here's
like
the
that.
lens that
Test it
fell
out.
out of my bag, and yeah,
I like that. I like that.
couple
I'll
lenses fall on
compete
my back.
with you. I think I will compete.
you might. You're down one lens and one body. Yeah,
I did
so.
wreck my Mavic 3 Pro recently.
Oh,
I broke all 4 propellers, and I replaced them because I had extras.
Does
'cause I knew
Shelly
it was
watch
gonna-
this? Does she know?
She doesn't watch this. She knows.
Oh man.
It wasn't anything crazy. It was like 10 feet off the ground.
You better have that DJI insurance because it's
Insurance,
awesome.
yeah.
Yes. Yes, I do.
For our sponsor, DJI.
Just keep feeding him drones.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so caveat is I unfortunately don't have my photo on my phone, so I was unable to send it to my homies here so they can look at it. But okay, so my favorite photo happens to be a drone shot that I took when Marcus, myself, and our other friend Ben were in Oregon. And so on this particular day, I had it set up. I had a helicopter ride set up for us to go in a helicopter ride. I think it would have been like a 45-minute flight off the coast of Oregon, like over by Cannon Beach, Oregon. And for those who've been to Cannon Beach, Haystack Rock is like the iconic rock structure that's out there. So there's a lot of fog. We're not able to go. I'm super disappointed. We drive into Cannon Beach, and we're like walking around the beach, and it's super, super foggy. But as the sun is setting, the fog is starting to lift, and that's when I run into this couple that's there on their honeymoon, and I did a super quick 5-minute impromptu photo shoot of them. And after we were done with that, the fog was most of the fog was gone. I sent my drone up, and I got like this lateral shot, this sunset shot of the beach and Haystack Rock right there. And when I edited it, it was the first time I focused a lot on like dodging and burning. And that's where it's like you're taking sections, for those of you who are listening, it's where you're Marcus, why don't you explain what dodging and burning is?
It specifically has to do with brushing a darker brush stroke and a brighter brush stroke, so you can enhance your darks in certain like creases or areas where you'll have shadows, and then same thing with your like highlights and your brighter parts of the image.
Thanks, my man. And that's exactly what I did. So you could see like where some of the waves were coming in, and I brightened up some of the crests of those. And then Haystack Rock, obviously the sun was setting behind it, so where the sun was setting, I kind of brightened up some of that and then darkened some of the other side. And then just like the colors of it. So you have like the yellow, the orange glow coming from the sun, and then you've got like the greens or like the teals and the aqua of the water. And then Haystack Rock, which is like a dark reddish brown, and then the sand, which is obviously brown.
So iconic.
Yeah, so just like all the different colors like really attract me. And you all know me. I cannot stand landscape photos, but that one is my favorite.
I want to see this photo. I've never seen this.
By the time you all are watching it, they would have seen
I thought you were going to reference the couple in Haystack Rock, because that shot is worthy of being his favorite. That's one of my personal favorites that he's taken.
It was pretty awesome, but yeah, that particular drone shot, and it was on an older DJI Air 2S, so it wasn't like the creme de la creme of drones.
Hey, that has a
and
good
I
sensor.
think it was just a one shot. It wasn't even a stacked shot. It was just one single photo.
Yeah.
I guess proper or slightly underexposed. That way I can sort of play around with it.
Yeah.
You say Air 2S?
Air 2S.
The first drone I ever lost.
Me too. Probably me too.
So I know what
Twice.
photo he's talking about, and it actually annoys me when I look at that photo, because as he says, he hates landscape photography, and then he kills this. First of all, here's what I love about it. I'm kidding when I say it annoys me. I love it because it's an iconic location. A lot of people know this, but to make it different or to make it stand out from most photos is not an easy task. And you did it, and you did it without HDR. You did it without stacking. And honestly, on a drone, which I'm assuming was not in like manual mode or anything, for your exposure and all that, correct?
You can.
I think it was in.
Was it?
manual.
Okay,
I think
so-
it was.
But to know that from an angle that you can't, that you're not standing at yourself, that's an impressive feat. So from a technical standpoint, yeah, it's all there. But then to see something in your head and create, really, and where dodging and burning comes from, it is literally almost like light painting. You painted a picture with it, and I think that's a really personal way to bring out that photo. So kudos to you on that one, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thanks.
I can't compliment you because I've not seen it, so I'm sure it's awesome.
That's okay. That's okay. But because I was unable to supply an image, Dylan, did you by chance send one?
Yeah,
You did. Awesome. Dylan, why don't you hop over here?
I'll let him have my spot.
Why don't you hop over here? All right, my man, talk to us about this photo. I love it, by the way, but yeah, go ahead.
So I went through a couple photos, and one was at Red River Gorge, which is a climbing. But I came to this photo because it's one of those photos that you have to kind of look for a different angle. And if you go to these, this is at the my wife was racing in Milwaukee. And this is Paula Finlay, who is a world champion triathlete. This is the pro, so all the pros are there throughout the world. All the gold medal winners there, and so it's an out and back course, and there's a million people taking pictures there, and so there's this bridge that walks over. So I just walked up on top of the bridge, and she's coming, and that's probably at about 28 miles an hour right there, coming down, and just shooting top down on it and try to get it where, you know, you can kind of see the strain in the muscles and holding on and all the effort that goes into it. It's just like trying to capture something that's so difficult and make it seem so easy. You just see that kind of stillness in something that's really it's such a competitive sport. It's like when you go to MMA or something and you see an F1 picture that it's stilled up, and you're like, wow, look at how beautiful that is, in such a dramatic and like hardcore sport that these people put hours into. And I just thought it was a fun shot that was something a little different than everybody was getting. So that's what I see when I see you guys take pictures too, that I learn from, is that you guys look for these incredible different angles, and you're not always shooting at these. Josh had posted something, and he was shooting through a window at a wedding, and it was from the opposite side, shooting through a window into it. Where, what a great shot that is a beautiful secondary shot that those people will probably cherish that shot even more than
I didn't take that photo. My wife did, but I told her to take that photo because she was my second shooter.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
How did you get that? Were you standing on a bridge, or is this drone shot?
On a bridge over the top. So there was a bridge over the top, pedestrian bridge from the water area right there. And I was like, well, I'm going to go up there and take some pictures of it, because I had a million of them coming in at the same angle. And it just, that worked out. And her husband is kind of like you guys, flies drones and makes short movies and takes pictures, and also a pro triathlete, and it's always kind of cool just to get something maybe you're a little attached to in that.
That's very cool. What was the camera and lens, if you remember?
So I think that was just on my Nikon with 7200.
Nice.
Like right over the top.
I like the shadow of the wheel, because it looks like the sun's coming in. You can. It looks like it's a kind of a cloudy, gloomy day, but like there's still enough sun, and you can see the shadow of that front wheel. Yeah. So that's super cool.
It was the evening. They started later in the day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you say this was in Milwaukee, Wisconsin?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Cool city, by the way, if you've never been.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think
love Milwaukee.
Rad city.
It's like a mini Chicago.
100%.
Love Wisconsin.
I was shocked.
Love Milwaukee.
Yeah.
All right. Absolutely. Thank you,
Dylan.
Thank
you.
Dylan.
Thank you for producing.
Yes. And that concludes our favorite photos for now. I know at times, that changes. And then, like you said, Kirk, a little bit earlier, we can break it down, like, which genre, because I definitely have,
we got more than one. We all.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I'm pretty sure, like you mentioned, we're going to have this topic again. Maybe we'll break it down into genres, at that point or whatever. But anyway,
cool idea.
Kirk, kick us out with the next topic.
Well, it's really not camera related at all, only peripherally, but us. Listen, we're all a bunch of weirdos here, right? So, this is a view inside of our head. By the way, Jesse's daughter is here shaking her head. You have no idea. I have to live with this. So, she's the best. Everyone say hi, Skylar.
Hey, Skylar.
Hey, Skylar. Right. My beautiful daughter.
BTS back
awesome. There. So anyway, how we all met? How do we know each other? Where does this magic elixir come from?
Magic elixir.
Yeah.
Where does this deliciousness come from?
Well, I think the hub really is Jesse, honestly.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I
Go ahead.
mean, I don't know about all that. I was going to say, like, I met Marcus back.
We did meet a long time ago.
It was like 2014, because I started going to the church that him and his family were already established at, Owensboro Christian.
Yep, that's right.
Met, I think it was like a youth group night, something or other, and then we just kind of nerded out ever since. There's a photo of you, me, and Colin at Walmart. Colin McQuarrie.
Oh yeah.
Yes. You, me, and Colin at Walmart wearing Ninja Turtles outfits.
Nice.
I still have that photo.
Ninja Turtles outfits. And like what I remember from you from back in the day was like you always loved aquariums. Like even back then you had a freaking aquarium.
I did.
You had an aquarium.
I did.
Yeah. And then I met Josh.
Oh, I can tell that story.
Okay, tell it.
I want to tell that story because it's hilarious.
Tell it.
And it's kind of embarrassing, but whatever. I don't care. Anyway, so I had just started doing pictures and video, and some friends asked me to film their wedding with my Canon 80D. That's what I was rocking, and I was editing it on an iPad. And another person saw that video and like, hey, do you care to film ours? And it was out in Philpott. I don't remember what the venue was. But I had been following Jesse from afar, like fanboy, like watching his stuff, like in social media and stuff. And I'm like, man.
Who doesn't, though? Really?
Especially that picture, the Indian picture. That's what I thought he was going to pick as his favorite.
Yeah.
I was like, man, that one's so cool. Like, this dude is so cool. Like, I want to be like him. Anyway, so I'm
sorry. You should see Skylar right now. She's like, really?
This is just the
Fanboy,
truth.
my
Like, you know what I mean?
dad.
Like, he takes cool photos. Like,
He
you know what I
does,
mean?
he
He has
does.
cool hair, and it's like whatever. But anyways, so I go. I'm like,
Brown's
yes,
so good.
I will film y'all's wedding because I'm having fun with this. Like, I just like doing it. I'm not. And anyways, so I get there. Me and Laura pull up. We're early, and I see Jesse there taking photos already, and I'm like, oh my god. I said, that's Jesse James Ayers. I was like, why is he here? I'm like, why am I here?
him with the JJA.
I'm like, why did they, if he's here, why am I here? Because I knew he did video because I watched his video clips. And I'm like, I start getting anxiety because I had it anyways. And Laura's like, chill out. Like, he's probably nice. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I can't do that. I said, Laura, go get me a different shirt. She runs
A different shirt?
She runs to Kohl's and gets me a cooler shirt.
Did she?
Oh,
She did.
my
Yeah,
God.
it
my
was
goodness.
blue kind of polo. It had skulls on it, but anyway,
It had skulls on it.
yeah.
Do you still have it?
Shout out to Laura.
No, I do not.
Shout out Dr. Murphy.
So like I was freaking out. I'm like, why do they have me here? Like I'm this amateur, you know what I mean? And he's here, and I was just freaking out. And so later, and I'm staying so far away from Jesse. Like,
Yes, you are.
the whole time.
I remember
I was
that.
letting him do his thing, and I'm like
I
shooting
remember
through
that.
the barn, and
You were like a mile away, bro.
Yeah.
You were a mile away for
Yeah.
every shot.
Did you have a 70 to 200?
Oh no,
No.
I had a kit lens.
Was it pancake lens?
No, it wasn't a pancake lens. I think
Worse, it
went
was a
to-
kit lens.
Yeah, it was whatever. It was a freebie, I think, or they may have gave me some money. But anyways, they liked their video. But I was just freaking out, and so like I finally, Laura's like, go talk to him, like, and pick his brain. And I'm like, all right. So I went up to when we were eating. I went up to talk to him, and Jesse's like super nice, and start throwing me advice. I'm picking his brain, and then we exchange numbers, and then I go and he starts letting me shoot video and second shoot for him, and the rest is history. But like I was so nervous to meet Jesse James Ayers, and I had to get a different shirt because I wanted to have a cool shirt. You know what I mean?
I did.
He has the straps. He has the solo shirt. Like he looks legit. And I'm like, at least get me a cool shirt or something. You know what I mean? I'm gonna look.
Looks legit.
Yeah. So that's how I met Jesse James. That was about 4 years ago.
That's
Yeah,
funny, man.
Yeah.
That's
And the rest
funny.
is history. So.
So yeah, I think out of all of us, I met Jesse first. We were both up for parole about the same time.
Wait, you had me for a second.
So you had me for a second. Yeah. For stealing moves. So Jesse and I used to work at the same place. I still work there, and then he went solo with his dream, and God bless him for it. But we didn't know each other back then, but I knew of him. I knew his name a little bit. Then I got into the photography thing, and somebody's like, "Hey, you got to follow this cat," and I'm like, "Oh, I think I know who he is." And I start following him online, and then one day, so I started taking pictures at our church at Owensboro Christian Church. Which, by the way, any photographers out there, if you can do something like that, I really recommend it. It grows your chops in a big way. So anyway, I was back there doing my thing, and then I noticed this guy playing bass. So in addition to photos and videos, Jesse's a big music guy, probably more so in your head than if you could do anything, I would bet you could playing music for a living would supersede.
Oh.
Was that safe to say?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so anyway, he's
Yeah.
playing bass. He's slapping the bass.
Slapping the bass, man. Slapping the bass, man.
And he's playing it with our church. I'm like, hey, that's that cat. I'm gonna go say hi to him. So went and said, hey, my name's Kirk, and we just started nerding out over stuff and just exchanged information and whatnot. Then a little while later, he said, hey, I need a second shooter. I'm like, cool. What's that? And he needed and actually, as it turns out, you had a wedding, but a family obligation came up, so Jesse had to back out. So he got someone else to be the main shooter, asked me to be the second shooter, and then this guy for video. I don't remember what his name was, but he has this wall of like a temple dedicated to Jesse because he was so nervous to meet him. And it was Josh. So they had already known each other.
There too.
Yeah, he's wearing his "I Love Jesse" T-shirt. I'm so nervous to meet. I'm sorry, I'm messing with you, dude. But anyway, that's how I met Josh, and we hung out all night, just great. And it was a crazy wedding. We actually helped out. The DJ didn't have all the music, and so the main shooter, Crystal, who's fantastic, and Josh and I were helping out the bride and groom on that. It was a fun one. And then a couple of months later, Jesse asked me to be his second shooter, and which is a fun gig to have because it's like all the fun, a little bit of money, and really none of the pressure. Yeah, honestly, it's absolutely. Just stay behind somebody, get the shots. You can learn something while you're doing it. So if you have the opportunity to do it, I highly recommend it. But also know when to. We'll do a whole thing on what it's like to be a second shooter because I think that's sort of a overlooked and chasing rabbits. But anyway, the video guy for that was Mr. Marcus, and of course, that's when I met you was at another wedding, and as you remember, and we just all kind of hit it off because we're all there for the same thing, and we all. Listen, I can talk to my wife or my friends about photography as much, and they get, for a little bit, and they get that glazed, but just the glazed look, and God bless them, they'll listen and pretend like they're paying attention, but these guys will actually reply back with, you know what I mean? It's when you find that tribe. So anyway, that's how we all gravitated. And then producer Dylan, I literally met the first time we were filming this. So there we go.
Yeah. Oh, really? It was the first time?
I'd never met him before.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Man, he's got some great work.
Okay.
Love it.
Dylan, was the first time that I met you, was that at like one of the basketball games there here, Davis County High School? Yeah. That's right. Well, was it you, me, and him all there at the same time?
Spider-Man.
We were like Spider-Manning it?
I think so.
I think.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, Dylan texted me. He's like, "Hey, this Jesse James guy."
Just the guy that you have the murals.
Skulls on it.
Oh, you guys are killing me.
Jesse, I know him. Santa.
Come over. That's so funny. No, but okay, since they're all making this brown guy blush red over here,
brown sugar.
I might as well just say, it's been like a really awesome like last few years, just being able to get to know each and every single one of you, including producer Dylan over there, and just being able to hang out and go on our little guys trips and help each other, second shoot, first shoot, whatever photos. So yeah, and I know we've all got like a whole lot more fun, still in the future. More guys trips, more fun things, more texting each other. Hey, I just crashed my drone. Can I borrow yours? Marcus, Josh, whomever. So yeah, I don't know. It's been super cool, and that's why we have this podcast.
That's
right here. It's just because just the best of homies hanging out. So yeah, super blessed.
Good times.
Super blessed.
Absolutely.
So that is episode 3 in a nutshell. And please go like and subscribe. And Jesse James will give you a free photo shoot if you like and subscribe. Absolutely. The new follower. I'm just joking. I'll do that. I don't care. We'll both do that. Man, we need to cut this.
We'll do that. We'll do that if you can wear the blue shirt with the skulls on it.
Okay, I may have that. So if I can find that will be done. But anyways, episode 3. Thank you guys. You're awesome. Like and subscribe. See ya.
Boom.